Hey Gemini, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader. Gemini, I love reading for you. The energy is so light right now, I love it. I hope you guys are feeling good. This is your intuitive reading for the time between the 29th of August and the 12th of September. We're going to draw cards for looking at each week, so in two different rows, but we'll read it that way, but it's kind of, this is what you're going to be experiencing over the next couple of weeks. And we'll also get key energies and outcomes as well for you, two cards just to look at those. Now, for those of you that are the regulars to my channel, thank you so much for supporting me, for supporting me and my channel over the last year or so. And if you're new to Key Wisdom Tarot, welcome, my darlings. You're very welcome to be here. Key Wisdom is all based really on mindfulness, meditation, Reiki, and tarot in that order. So for every single day for the last 6 years, this is what I've done, lived mindfully and reflected, etc. Now, you guys, I love reading for Gemini. I love the energy, okay? So we're going to start. I've already shuffled and meditated. I'll do a little bit more shuffling and camera, my darlings, and then we'll get on with the reading, okay? Okay, my darlings. Sorry about that. That's how it goes, my darlings. Now, usually I have clarifying cards, but this is not a clarifying card. This is a card. This is a separate message. It doesn't go with any of the other cards. It's a separate message. So it's going to be interesting to see what that is. Very interesting. All right, my darlings. Card at the base of your reading is the Hanged Man. So we know that this card is about if it's at the base of the reading, that's the perspective that we need to see this next couple of weeks through. And this is a kind of waiting, trying to understand something from a different perspective, a situation or a circumstance that's going to allow you to see yourself or something, some aspects of your life from a different perspective, from a newer perspective, something that is helping you to grow and to expand, something that is helping to push you forward. But in order to move forward, it's as if first of all you have to there's something in life that demands your attention, and over this next couple of weeks it's as if you're giving yourself that attention. There's another card that wants to come out, actually, just bear with me a second. Oh, maybe it's two. Oh, these are your clarifiers. Interesting. There's a few. Okay, so sorry about that. So, my darlings, sorry, they've got to stay there because I don't know. Don't ask me why it's so important to have cards in specific place, but I always say I wish you guys could feel what I feel or see what I see when I do this. Anyway, or when we, not just me. Anyway, okay, so let's look at your first key energy, my darling, and that's here. We've got the 5 of Wands. Now, do you know, I was in the park yesterday walking Tiny Dog and Dolly Doggy, that's Tiny's cousin. And I've been looking at dog sitting for a few days. For those followers of Key Wisdom on Instagram, you've seen the pictures of her. And I was walking in the park, and it was a long walk because it was really hot. So, I you know, under the trees, I let them walk and have a good time outside. And I was about to start taking a video of a tree because I saw a tree. You know, I love trees. I've been talking about trees all day today. I love trees. And I was going to film this tree, and I was going to do a little meditation. But then I saw one of the dog walking. He wanted to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. So we didn't get to do it, but I'll do it. And this tree is a beautiful tree. It's a normal tree, a tree. But the bark of that tree is shedding. So you know when a tree sheds its bark? And so it was currently shedding, and I was about to sort of say on this video, you know, this is what it means to be mindful. So at all times, even when I'm out walking the dog, there's times when you connect very strongly with a space and it triggers something in your mind. And in this instance, it triggered the energy of the 5 of Wands for me. And it was a visual, the tree shedding its bark is a visual representation for me in nature of this energy of the 5 of Wands. And what that means is the growth and the change that we go through happens from within us. And it bursts, and slowly, it bursts through. Just like as the tree grows, the old bark, it stretches and it flakes and it falls off to reveal, you know, greener parts of the tree, if that makes sense. And that's exactly what happens with the 5 of Wands. There's energy within you that's wanting you to change, and that change is happening slowly within. All 5s relate to change. Wand energy is that life force, the thing that animates us, the thing that moves us, the thing that we're excited about, the thing that makes us grow. And the thing that what alive is, that's wand energy. I always think people don't know what it is to be alive. If I said to someone, what does it feel like to be alive? They wouldn't know how to answer that question. Or not many people would know. Some I do now, but it's hard to answer that question. So I always imagine it as, you know, imagine you were dead and you knew you were dead. That's what it's like to be alive. Because people don't know they're alive. Anyway, I digress. But the change comes from within, and it's a slow process, really. Just like the tree shedding its bark, it's a slow process. And eventually what starts to happen as that change comes from within you, you fight yourself potentially. You don't want to change or move, but eventually we start seeing the effects of this change on the outside, just like the tree shedding its bark. That's what's happening to you. So it's I'm not surprised we see that card with the Hanged Man. It doesn't mean that you'll be isolating yourself necessarily, but there may be friction, just like the tree shedding its bark. There may be friction within you or around you because you are changing. So you're not the same person that you were. You don't have the same perspective now that you did this time last year, for example. So there's changes going on within you, and it's important, and it's something that you can't stop, just like the tree can't. It's something that you can't stop. It's happening. The process is beginning. The process has already begun. And now you start to see why. You start to see the effects of this change, if you will. You're starting to see that, I should say. Okay, we'll look at this outcome right at the end. So let's have a look at this first week. So we're looking from the 4th. This is the 29th to the 4th. So we've got oh my god, these 2 cards, I saw them when I was shuffling, along with your card, the Lovers card, which was telling me it's time to start. Interesting. Gemini, your energy has been hovering around me. Now I see these cards, I realize that your energy has been hovering around me for the last 2 days, waiting to be waiting to come through. So don't ask me how I know that, but it has been. So there's obviously some of you've been waiting for this reading or waiting to get some answers, some healing. So let's hope I hope that I can provide that for you guys. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Cups, clarify, it's that one. Seven of Cups, you've got the Two of Swords with a clarifier, you've got the Page of Pentacles, and you've got the Three of Pentacles. Now listen, don't ask me why I made that noise. Ooh, don't ask me why I made that noise, yeah? Like, you're not in my head, you know. I don't either. Okay, so we've got these cards here. Now, number 7 is mystery, the number of mystery. And what I mean by that is trying to understand something, trying to get to the bottom of something, asking questions why, trying to uncover the answers within yourself, okay? And the cups energy is related to our emotions and our intuition and the esoteric part of life, you know, our soul, if you will, our karma, all that type of stuff. That's what the cups energy is related to. So the Seven of Cups is a number of trying to understand why I want something, why I desire something, why I feel this way. That's basically what this card represents. Why do I feel like this? And it's the same with this card here. Again, it's a similar energy of this is the type of energy that we don't move because we can't move with the Seven of Cups, because we don't understand. We don't move because we can't move, because we don't know what to do. We don't know what the next outcome is going to be. We don't know what it is we want. We don't understand what it is we want. We're trying to work out what it is we want. We're trying to work out why it is we feel this way. And it's because you're going through a shift, a change is happening within you, and you feel it. And we know, I've spoken to you guys, to Gemini, Libra, Aquarius this year, a lot about that, your emotional body being a lot more in the forefront for you, in a way that it's not really been in your life up to this point. And it's like as if this year there's a lot more engagement with your emotional body. There's a lot more engagement with what it is your compassion is growing. Your compassion for yourself is growing. So it's not all about the mind now. It's not all about what's logical, what's reasonable, what's suitable. You have been this year more engaged with your emotional self, and more engaged with that side of yourself that seeks to understand the calling that you feel, to move in a certain direction, even though you don't understand it, even if it's not logical. And that's what this card here, this energy here represents. So it's not as if we have the movement necessarily. We know we can't. We just have, again, these questions and these feelings. We don't know what to do yet. You don't know what to do yet. And this is further indicated by the Two of Swords here. Now, you're on more familiar ground here, because what you're trying to do, as always, that we all do, people do, we all do it, try to make decisions, and we try to make our decisions based on logic and reason, and what's appropriate, and what makes sense, and what's right, or whatever, I don't know, what makes us the most money, what makes us look the best, whatever, I don't know. We try to make decisions in that logical way. But you're in that situation now, Gemini, as I said, just like all the earth signs, you're in that situation now this year where you, even though it's logical and right, and you know it makes sense, if something doesn't feel right, that's that change that's coming from within. And it's about you trying to understand what's going on over this next couple of weeks. It's about trying to bring those emotions, or if you will, to the surface. And it's these emotions, this confusion, that puts you in this hangman position, that allows these changes to come through. You're starting to see the effects. And for you maybe don't like not being able to be as decisive as usual. Maybe that's not something you enjoy. Tough. It's something that's necessary. Okay, it's something that's necessary for you, for your growth, for your healing, for your expansion number 3. Hangman is 12, number 3. So that's why it leads us to expansion. Look at that, number 3 as well. That's why it leads to our expansion, to our growth, the hangman. to our awareness, because we start to engage in a different way. We start to engage with different aspects of ourselves. So there's a decision, it's seemingly that you want to make or need to make or trying to make, and your decision's on hold or has been, but look what happens now. We have this shift in energy. And I really feel like this shift in energy comes from because you're having this compassion for yourself. Now I point at, and by compassion, what I mean by that is you're acknowledging the feelings that are within, as well as the logic and reasoning that you usually apply in order to make the decisions necessary that you want to make, okay? And to do the things that you want to do. And that's because you have at least acknowledged this year. You've at least acknowledged that. You've acknowledged, bloody hell, do you know what? It's confusing this for me. Usually I do this, but I don't know what to do now. So I'm just going to sit here and I'll work it out later, at a later date. You've acknowledged, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't make a decision. I'm not sure. I feel uncertain. You've acknowledged that side of yourself, which is, some people love to make decisions. Some people don't like to make decisions. Some of you out there, and there's no black or white with there's no in between, I should say, with you guys. It's like that clarity is necessary, but when we don't have clarity, sometimes we don't like to acknowledge that. You have acknowledged that. You're engaging with that process. And this is what is shifting the wheel. This is what is turning the things. You're having more compassion for yourself. And I pointed to these two cards, the Pentacles energy, when I said to you, you're having more compassion with yourself. And that's because Pentacles energy are related to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And they are the providers. The what I mean by that is hang on a minute, I totally wasn't going to say that, but they are the providers, and that's maybe where you're at. What I also want to tell you though is that they're feminine energies. So what that means is there's an understanding of what it is you need to do, want to do, in order to manifest the security that you need and want. So that is where this compassion has come through. Let me just repeat that. You understand what you need, what you want, in order to manifest the security that you require. And it might mean that understanding, or it does mean that understanding has come about because of the engagement with, you know what, I'm confused. Let me just sit back and just allow myself to feel confused and stop trying to force a decision. It's literally, if you stop trying to force a decision, you'll just feel the changes coming through. You'll allow this stuff to percolate to the surface, and that in itself, sit with it, and some of you do and will, and that is why that you're able to come to a decision. And it seems that you want to do something, offer something, go somewhere. With the Page of Pentacles, it seems like you're willing to now put your energy into something new, put your energy into a new area. When it comes to your security, when it comes to a manifested security. So that could be anything, a person, a job, whatever. But there's definitely cooperation with the Three of Pentacles here. You are making a decision, but the decision is, it's a shift, it's a change, it's something that you wouldn't necessarily have done in the past. Maybe you decide to forgive someone. Maybe you I don't know. I don't like to give examples. Whatever. You decide. You know what it is in your life. But we've got cooperation here with the Three of Pentacles. You feel different. You've been triggered in some way. You've been awoken. Do you know when people always, there's all the memes, I've never seen any meme, but there's all these memes just on Instagram, walk. People say stay woke and all that stuff. It's as if you're woke. Like something happened that's woke you. I hope that makes sense. And it's really, your mind is different now. You're thinking differently, but there's security in it. There is a new sense of security, but your mind is different. You've changed, or you're changing. You're going through that that process of change, Gemini. Your mind's, it's like you see things in a you are seeing things or do see things in a different way now. Your perspective's shifted very drastically for some of you, and other people may not have seen the effects of your shift in perspective up to this point. But after this point, people are going to start to see how this shift in perspective that you've had is going to manifest itself in the world, how it's going to affect your actions, the things you do going forward, okay? But there's energy of cooperation here. So again, we've got another number 3. And again, you know, think about the 3 of Cups, that celebration. That's the universe giving you a pat on the back saying, yes, you're in the right space, girl. Yes, you're doing it, girl. Yes. Okay, so it's all that. So the 3 of Pentacles is like similar because you're putting your energy. This is you with your pentacle. You're applying your energy to manifest security in a way that feels appropriate to you, that feels right to you. And that means that the universe will work with you and the people around you will work with you in order to manifest that. So, you know, it's positive in that sense. It's very positive, actually. Okay, so let's look at this next row of cards. We've got the Hierophant, the King of Wands, the Hermit energy, and the 5 of Pentacles. So oh God, that makes me feel a bit, not sick, but I feel a bit, my stomach just went a little bit there when I looked at this card, actually, and I can't even see what this card is. And this card, these my stomach. So that's my, what chakra is that? 1, 2, 3, solar plexus. Solar plexus is about expansion, actually, 3rd chakra, expansion. Sun, authenticity. You're in that, it's vulnerable. You feel vulnerable, some of you potentially, but you're in a good spot. We've got the Hierophant, number 5. 5's always, but again, about change. The Hierophant's Taurus's card. I always say about the Hierophant, the shorthand for me is you can live your truth or somebody else's. And that's kind of where you're at right now. It's like, as I said, you're a walk. So it's like all the stuff that, it's kind of like all the stuff that you knew or thought which was true. It's like suddenly it's like, and the thing, and those are the reasons why you live your life the way you did. It's like suddenly you just don't believe it anymore. So say, for example, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to say anything political, but oh God, I'm trying to, hang on a minute. Well, I've been watching, I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been watching, this is a good way in. I've been watching Narcos, Pablo Escobar, and his, sicarios, you know, the drug cartel in Medellin, and everything that happened. So basically, they're at war with the government, if you will. This is a true, obviously, you know, it's a true story, blah, blah, blah. It's true people, real people got killed. Many, many, many thousands of people were killed during the late 80s because of this man, and because of the work that he did, etc., etc. So just imagine you were in a drug cartel. So the structures that you believe, just bear with me, so the structures that you believe that you were told, you know, so you got to stay loyal to the boss, you know, you don't snitch, you know, you keep your friends close, enemies close. I don't know what the rules of the cartel are, right? And it's as if you've lived in this cartel for all these years of your life. I'm not saying that any of you live in a cartel, just bear with. So you've lived by these rules, you know, you were brought up, these are the rules, this is the boss, you listen to El Jefe, you listen to him, he's the person, he provides for you, if you do this, these are the rules. And it's like suddenly you had a bump on the head and you wake up and you think, bloody hell, we're the bad guys here. So you've thought all this time when you've been one of the sicarios, you know, one of his henchmen, like going around killing people, but you kill people because you're defending your cartel, so it's all good. It's like suddenly you had a bang on the head and you're like, wow, like I'm on the wrong side, me, like what's going on? Like we're just killing all these people, like it's really bad. You woke up. Now I know that was like a random example, but that's kind of like where you're at. And you're at that point where you now know the truth. So you see, you know, this is the cartel that I live in, you know, this is, I can't believe I'm talking about Pablo Escobar, but anyway, this is the cartel that I live in, these are the rules that we must live by in the cartel. and these are the actual rules of society, or these are the other rules that I could live by. And it's like you can see both sides, you can see both now. Which do you choose? That's what the Hierophant does. So the Hierophant has all the knowledge, but the Hierophant has to decide based on what's within. What's within. And what's within for you is changing. What's within for you is confusing. What's within for you is shifting. So in the past, you may have made a decision based on, as I said, you make a list, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, But now there's an additional aspect, if you will. There's an additional aspect, if you will, that's you have to take into account when you're making a decision, when you're taking action. So it's as if this time you need to contemplate it, but there's change gonna come. Change gonna come. So then we've got the King of Wands next. So there's this connection, strong connection here to yourself. So to your second chakra, your sacral chakra, which is literally life force. It's the seat of your trauma, really. And also the seat of your excitement and all the things that make us feel vulnerable in life, but all the things we love most in life, you know, the pleasure, or the things that make you feel happy as a personal, as an individual, the things that give you joy personally, the things that animate you, the things, whatever they are, art, music, whatever. All those things are governed by this wand energy. And the king is masculine, so it's about acting on that energy. So what is about acting on that? It's about taking actions, moving toward those things that you desire, that you need, that you want. In order to do that, you have to connect with it. You have to allow yourself to recognize that this is the direction that I'm drawn in. So even though I'm trying to make a decision and I'm trying to, but I'm confused, I feel confused, you still have to allow yourself to feel confused. Because acknowledging that I feel confused and acknowledging that I'm uncertain that's one place you're at. If you're denying that, then you're not even there yet, are you? If you're like, no, I'm fine, but really deep down you feel confused, whatever, can't make a decision, uncertain, but you're not even there yet. So this is a step. It's a step to acknowledge, because it allows you to connect with yourself. It allows you to know what's within, and this is why I put this one up there, because it allows you to know what's within. But hang on a second. This is linked to the King of Wands. So this is that confusion. I mean, I would definitely watch Capricorn's reading, Gemini, because there's some similar cards in this reading, but also there is a similar vibe. I mean, we watch Capricorn's reading if you're interested. We've got this energy of the Eight of Swords. So this is again being stuck. I say again because I've talked about this card today. It's being stuck in a way of thinking, but not being able to see that you're stuck in a way of thinking. We don't see that until we get to the number 9 of Swords, and that's what it's like. It's like the confusion. Allow yourself to know that you're confused. Allow yourself to know that you're unsure. Allow yourself to acknowledge that you don't know what to do. Allow yourself to say, I'm going through changes, but I don't know what those changes are. Allow yourself to acknowledge those things, because it's those acknowledgements that every acknowledgement is a step. Every acknowledgement is how you move forward. And again, we've got this energy further sort of pushed down your, like this bit, yeah. We've got to further emphasize. That's the word I'm looking for. Emphasize. Thank you. We've got to further emphasize again by this energy of the Hermit. So remember, masculine energy is active energy. So it's what you do, the actions that you take. And this is you actively seeking time out, actively seeking space, actively seeking to understand what is actually within you. What is this light within you? What is this force that wants to move you? It's about acknowledging those things. You have to do the work, the digging, if you will. I'd suggest you watch if some of you haven't already, check out my Key Wisdom playlist, and I put in there some conscious meditations. Conscious meditation is like, if you think about the cards of Temperance and you think about the cards of the Hermit, like they're meditative cards in the major arcana, and what those cards do is we try to engage with our experiences in a mindful way. And that is exactly what I do in those conscious meditation videos. I've uploaded some conscious meditations. And all conscious meditations, for me, all that means for me, from my perspective, is talking to yourself. And it's something that I do often, especially when I'm trying to understand something, trying to work something out. I write as well, I'm a writer, but I do speak out loud. So I've put some examples of conscious meditation, it's about the questions. It's about asking questions to myself, asking questions to yourself, like the Hermit would. Ask questions to myself, and try to and answer those questions honestly. Now, truth has its own resonance. Truth resonates. So you know the truth when you hear it. So if you try to lie to yourself out loud, you will know that you're lying. So you have to continue to ask questions. So I would definitely say to you guys, go for it. Watch those conscious meditation videos and engage with that process, because it can help you to uncover and to, as I said, acknowledge the confusion, acknowledge the changes, acknowledge the uncertainty. It helps you to do that, okay? And try to understand what it is you do actually want and what it is you do actually desire, on which cartel you are gonna work for, or what rules you are going to live by, or whatever, okay? Because then we have this a card here, Five of Pentacles. So isolation, we've got a few cards of isolation here. So there is a suggestion potentially that there could be some physical illnesses for some of you. Some of you might be forced to be off work or off school. You might be poorly, you might have the flu, or you might have, but actually what's going on is that's the universe, because this is earth energy. These are earth energy. So whenever we get earth, this is earth energy. Chokeray. So if whenever you get lots of earth energy, it means, well, we've got long-standing stuff that we need to work through. Long-standing stuff can manifest itself physically. So if you have back pain, if you have a cold, if you have a migraine, it's because the stuff that you should have dealt with time ago and you just haven't bothered. There's stuff that you should have thought about, reflected on time ago, and you haven't bothered. So it's time for you to have a few days in bed so you can rest up, and when you're resting up, then you'll start to be like, oh my god, yeah, I didn't think about that, basically. Yeah, so some of you might be forced to have it's nothing serious. It's not like you're going to be, it's just nothing serious. But again, fives are change. So this is a card, a number, an energy of isolation. It might be that you are not speaking to somebody, or you're not communicating with somebody, even if you feel isolated from the people around you, whatever. But it could be, again, a period of enforced sickness, enforced by the universe. As I said, you might have to have a few days off work. You might, just because, because it's time for you to allow these changes to come through. Change is something that we have a handle in, but also the universe has a handle in it as well. So these shifts and changes in perspective are necessary for you. You're going through some really important evolution, Gemini. And to be fair, I love to see it because I feel very connected to it. I'm a Capricorn. I feel very connected to it. And I do suggest you watch the Capricorn video. It's much longer. Now, this was a separate message. Remember I said to you, this is a separate message. It's not, I've just looked at it. It's not something that's connected to the rest of it is connected to these weeks, but not connected to any of these cards. You ready to see it? Now, remember what I say about this card, okay? This card is a blessing from the universe. And actually, you said it before, it can also indicate physical illness as well. And it's the Tower card, okay? So, you are for some of you, I'm talking at you now, and your head might be spinning. What is going on? Like, it's dizzying for you to hear this, and for some of you to sort of recognize this and see this. But actually, you're in such strong karmic energy right now, Gemini. You're really in the flow of it all. And I'm going to do an astrology video for September. So check that out when I do it. I'm pretty certain. I've not looked at it, actually. I've not looked at the astrology, so I don't know what it is off my head. But I definitely feel like you guys there's a lot of action in that part of the sky. And I definitely feel like you guys are really going through the universe is really helping to push through your transformation for you, and this wokeness is coming through, okay? And the Tower moment in a nutshell is an unexpected situation that happens, that arises, that helps us to move us from a place where we are that's no longer serving us to a place where we should be, that is serving us better, that's more in alignment with who we are. So again, as I said, that could be 3 days off work and you start to think and recognize and realize, oh my God, I feel differently, I think differently now, whatever. Or it could be anything, a situation or circumstance that suddenly arises that shifts things for you. So this for me was my car failing last year led to me starting this business. So the shock event was the car failing and me having to leave my teaching job. I didn't have to leave, but I left. I chose to. So it could be something similar like that for you. Some of you, if you have been putting off, I'll rephrase, some of you have been putting off making a decision, and a situation or circumstance is going to arise over this next couple of weeks that in a way not forces you to make a decision, but you have the space now to make a decision. And you could be convalescing, i.e. recovering from some sort of illness. Okay, last card, and I'm going to speak excellent. So we've got the Six of Swords. Definitely check out the Capricorn reading if you can be bothered. I would read it. I would definitely watch it. Anyway, Six of Swords for you here. So this is balance. Number 6 is balance, harmony. Sword energy is your energy, so thoughts, mind, clarity, consciousness, communication. So what we say and think, what we allow ourselves to say and think. So this is a balanced mind, clear understanding, a recognition of the significance of events such as these that has actually led to the changes of number 5, and that helps you to then move forward to understanding more about what is within you, what it is you need, etc. I'm speaking quickly because I'm conscious that this reading has gone on way too long. But yeah, we've got a great key energies here. So this is what you really need to be mindful of, reflecting on your experiences, as we've got divine masculine, divine feminine, inner child. This is the unification of all those aspects of yourself. Okay, so your intuition, feelings, emotions, your the actions that you take, and the rules of society, if you will, the things that are out external, the things that we do, and our inner child, so the woundings that we have that can sometimes hold us back and stop us from fulfilling our potential. There's a unification of all these aspects of ourselves because you now understand the significance of this wounding, the significance of these feelings and emotions, and the significance of the actions that you take. They're all significant. They're all equally important. And once we unify all those things, then we can start moving forward. Okay, so that's the energy for you guys. So it's looking like a great time for you, and you really do have the space. Some of you really literally have the space and the time physically around you to be able to make some really solid changes, okay, and to really solidify the learning that you've been on, that you've undertaken over the last 10 months or so. Okay, my darlings, so I hope you like this reading, Gemini. Please give it a thumbs up, okay? Like, subscribe, share this content if you think it'll help other people, etc. You know the drill. I will be back in a couple of weeks in a week or two. In fact, check out the astrology video. I'll link, I've not recorded it yet. I'll link it when I've recorded it, beginning of September. Check out the readings that I'll link at the end of this reading as well. I must go now because this is going to take about 2 hours to upload and I've got so much more to do. Okay, my darlings, I'll see you all again soon. Have a wonderful couple of weeks. Take care, my darling Geminis. Much love. Bye.